In year 5 and 6, children are taught to add any combination of 3 to 6 digit numbers, including decimals, and the children are expected to be able to rename any value. So I'm just going to show you a few examples of that over this video. So first of all, let's look at this first equation here. So we have 335,398 plus 37,296. We, as with all the way through school when you're doing the formal column addition, we need to start with the ones. So we would add the ones, 8 ones and 6 ones. So we know that 8 ones and 6 ones makes more than 10, so we're going to need to do some regrouping. 8 ones and 6 ones makes 14. So the 4 can stay in the ones column, but we need to regroup underneath the 10 into the tens column. So now we have 9 tens add 9 tens, which makes 18 tens, plus the 1 10 down here that makes 19 tens. So again, 19 tens needs to be regrouped. So 9 tens can stay here, but we have got the 100 that goes here into the hundreds column. And now we have 300s add 200s, add 100, which makes 600. And there's no regrouping required there. Then we have 5,000s plus 7,000s. And so we need to do some regrouping because that makes 12,000. So we need to leave the 2 there for the 2,000s. And then we have made a 10,000. So we have 3 10,000s and 3 10,000s and 1 10,000, which makes 7 10,000s. And then no regrouping is required. We have 3 100,000s, add nothing, so then we keep it as 300,000. So this gives us the answer of 372,694. So moving on to the next example of column addition, we are adding 362,898 to 37,296. We start by adding the ones. So 8 ones add 6 ones is 14 ones. So we need to regroup, and the 10 needs to go into the tens column. Then we have 9 tens add 9 tens, which makes 18 tens plus the 10 that we've regrouped. So that would be 19 tens. So we have made 100 there, so that goes into the 100 column. So we have 800s add 200s, which makes 10 hundreds, add the other 100, that makes 1100s. So we leave 100 there, and we have made 1,000. So 1,000 goes into the thousands column. So now we have 2,000s, add 7,000s, add 1,000, which makes 10,000. So we need to do some more regrouping. So the 10,000 has gone into the thousands column. The zeros there is the placeholder. So now we have 6 10,000s, add 3 10,000s, add 1 10,000, which makes 100,000. So we are putting the 100,000 in the correct column, and the 0 is the placeholder. So now looking at the hundreds thousands column, we've got 300,000, add 100,000, which makes 400,000. So when we've added those two parts together, the answer we have got is 400,194. Another example before we move on to looking at decimals is this one here below. You may be wondering, why is there a hundreds thousands column? This is because on some occasions when you're adding numbers, a new column will need to be made. So I just want to show you that example. So as we always do, we start by counting the ones. So we have 7 ones add 6 ones, which makes 13 ones. So we need to regroup the 10. Then we have 2 tens add 2 tens plus another 10, which makes 5 tens. We have 700s add 200s, which makes 900. Then we have 5,000s, add 7,000s, which makes 12,000. So we are regrouping because we've made a 10,000. And then this is where we get this new column come into place. So we've got 3 10,000s add 7 10,000s, just make 10 10,000s, plus another 10,000 makes 11 10,000s. So we need 1 10,000 there, and then we've made 100,000. So then the 100,000 goes there. For the children to be able to add decimals, they have to have a very strong understanding of place value after the decimal point, so knowing thousandths, hundredths and tenths. So just like when we are combining whole numbers by adding two parts, we always start at the smallest place value. So we're going to be doing the same with decimals. We're starting at the thousandths. So we have the top, the 0 is the placeholder there. So we've got 0 thousandths and 8 thousandths. So that makes 8 thousandths. Then we have, again, 0 hundredths, add 2 hundredths. That makes 2 hundredths. Then we have some tenths to add. So we have 7 tenths, add 7 tenths. We can use our number facts knowledge to help us. So that's 14 tenths. So we are doing some regrouping. So we can see that we have made some ones. So the 1 goes in the 1 column there. So we have 3 ones, add 5 ones, which is 8 ones, and another 1 is 9 ones. And then we have 2 tens, add no tens, so that would be 2 tens. So we have added the decimal of 23.700, add 5.728. And we have found, let's put that decimal place point back in. The answer is 29.428. It's really important to note that even if the addition equation is written out, say for instance 23.180 plus 204.307, it's important that children understand that the largest number needs to go at the top of the column addition. That's a really important point to make. So let's have a look at this next equation here. So we start by adding the thousandths. So 7 thousandths at 0 thousandths is 7. And then we have got 0 hundredths add 8 hundredths is 8. And then we have 3 tenths add 1 tenth, which is 4 tenths. And then we have 4 ones add 3 ones, which makes 7 ones. We have 0 tens add 2 tens, which makes 2 tens. And then we have 2 hundreds add 0 hundreds, makes 200. So it gives us the answer of 227.487. Okay, the last example we have here. Start by adding the thousandths. We have 4 thousandths add 0 thousandths. That's 4. We have 1 hundredth add 8 hundredths, which is 9. Then we have 3 tenths add 9 tenths, which we know makes 12 tenths. So we need to regroup into the ones column. And we have 6 ones add 5 ones add 1 1, which makes 12 ones. So we have made a 10. So that goes in the tens column. And then we have 2 tens, add 1 10, add another 10, which makes 4 tens. So 26.314 plus 15.980 is equal to 42.294.